The pups sat in depression as they headed to where they would be living for the next little while. I promise you, pups, things will get better. Once you're old enough to be able to return home, you could resume your duties in the Paw Patrol, Joey said. Things won't be the same without Ryder, Chase said. Leaving Adventure Bay is just the icing on the cake. Ryder's death is what dragging us all down, Rocky said. Joey didn't want to make the pups more upset, so he stayed quiet. Zuma and Sky haven't stopped crying since they left Adventure Bay. For almost an hour, they were crying into each other's fur. Marshall hadn't taken his face out of Rocky's fur either. Eventually the Suburban and pulled into the driveway of Joey's house, and each pup got out. We are here. We're temporarily home. It's not going to bring Ryder back, Sky said. I know. If I had the power to, I would. Joey and the pups walked inside to the house. It's a 4-bedroom house, so there has to be 2 in each room. There's a shared bathroom upstairs, but there's one in my room, and that's downstairs. The kitchen's here, and there's plenty of dog food and treats. And go ahead and take whatever you want. Rubble went high and found the bag of chips. That's human food, but I guess you can have some. Joey brought the pups upstairs. Go ahead and pick a room. They're all pretty much the same. There could be 3 of you in one room, all 6 of you, or split evenly. It doesn't matter to me. Rocky and Marshall went to a room, Zuma and Sky went to another, then Chase and Rubble occupied the last. They each unpacked their bags, and then however, they wanted their rooms. So that night came, and it was very slow night. Not any slower than it had been, however. Are you awake, Rocky? Marshall asked. Yeah, I'm awake. How long do you think we'll have to be here for? Only until Chase is old enough. Since he is the oldest, he could probably take custody of us once he can live on his own. I don't want to be here, but I don't want to go back to Adventure Bay without Ryder. We'll have to find a way to go around this. Ryder wouldn't want us to suffer forever. Zuma and Sky were having a similar conversation. Things won't be the same. I won't be able to eat treats the same way again, Zuma said. I don't want to live, Sky said. Zuma and Sky cuddled up next to each other. If the 6 of us stay together, we'll be able to manage. Chase was trying to sleep, but Rubble was watching Apollo the Super Pup. It was the only thing that could make him feel better. Chase couldn't stand the TV going on while he's trying to sleep. Rubble, can you go watch that somewhere else? Like where? Maybe with the other pups? Rubble got up and joined Zuma and Sky. Chase had the room to himself. A day passed with each pup being able to somewhat play again. Joey didn't know what to do with each pup's lack of motivation. The next night came, and Rubble was with Zuma and Sky, and Chase was alone again. I'm not gonna let this be the end, Chase said. There's no way Ryder can just fell down that cliff. There has to be more to this. He got out of his bed and started pacing around. What if one of the pups killed him and is masking this flawlessly? What if, I have to get this out. Chase woke up Rocky and Marshall, and all 3 of them had to meet in the room with Zuma, Sky, and Rubble. Alright, pups, I brought you all in here because we're going to find the mystery behind Ryder's death. He fell to his death, there's no doubt about that, Marshall said. I'm not doubting this death because I'm doubting on because what caused his fall. He didn't just fall on his own. That's not Ryder. No one was up there. Only Sky would have seen anything from there. She didn't see anyone, Rocky said. I wasn't looking where Ryder was if I was. We could have. Sky then broke down. This wasn't Chase's intentions. I'm sorry, Sky. I didn't mean to get you to start crying. I just want the guilty party to admit they're wrong. What do you mean by that? Rubble asked. I really hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling one of you are involved and masking it very well. Every pup became hurt by that. None of them had anything to do with Ryder's death, other than making sure he was okay. If any of us are guilty, just do us all a favor and fess up. That's all we want. Each pup started scolding Chase. Chase knew immediately his theory was wrong. Alright, none of us are responsible. But that's not good enough for me. I know for a fact Ryder's death wasn't an accident. It's done, Chase. Forget about it, Zuma said. It's not done. In fact, it's just began, and we're going to investigate this. None of the pups were following Chase. We have nowhere to start. We have no way to get around. There's no way Joey will let us go and leave like that. Pups, there's 6 of us. For years, we've made it such a good team. 3 of us are capable of driving a truck on the street. I see Joey is Suburban. I see the keys at the Suburban downstairs, and Adventure Bay is just an hour away. Are you saying to steal the car to go investigate something you have no proof of? Rocky asked. If you pups truly miss Ryder and want to know what caused his death, made our lives be miserable, you'll join me. I'll go. Ryder meant way too much for all of this, Zuma said. If he's in, I'm in, Sky said. Rocky shook his head in disbelief, and he was about to make his idiotic decision. Count me in. I'm just as dedicated as everyone else. Marshall and Rubble didn't want to get in trouble, but they all both wanted to join the pups. Come on, you two. It's do or die, Chase said. I trust you, Chase. I'm going, Rubble said. What? I don't want to be the only one left behind. I'm going, Marshall said. Smart choice, pups. Now let's leave Joey's an apology note. The pups went downstairs and Chase left Joey a note. Joey, I'm sorry we're doing this, but we can't stand being in a mystery of what happened to Ryder. We're heading back to Adventure Bay to investigate Ryder's death. We have no other way to get there, so we have to use your Suburban. Me, Rocky, and Marshall have class and driver's license, so we are certificate to drive to road vehicle. I'm sorry about having to steal your car, but it's the only way we'll keep in touch. Chase. Alright, pups, let's head out. The pups packed into the Suburban once more. Then they headed down to Adventure Bay in Joey's Suburban. Chase knew his way back. It was still the night the same when they got back to Adventure Bay. They had to hurry through and go to the lookout unnoticed so no one would know they escaped and stole a vehicle while they were at it. All circuit breakers on lookout were off, and there were automatic lights on. They had to navigate them through with no power. They each got their pup packs, all their gear, and then found the keys to their trucks. Since they had their tags in with Ryder, they had to use a GPS call feature to each of their trucks to communicate. They all parked Joey's Suburban in front of the lookout, then off-roaded away from the lookout. They couldn't go through Adventure Bay and risk getting spotted. The sun was starting to come up, and they got on the spot that Ryder had fell. Joey then woke up to check on the pups. Doing that, he discovered every room being empty. Pups? Where are you? He checked everywhere in the house, but nowhere to be found. I'm not playing. I'm starting to get really worried. If you're here, please come out. He knew that they weren't there. He immediately dialed up the Mayor Goodway. Hi, it's Joey. It's early in the morning. What's going on? Mayor, the pups aren't here. They got out during the night, and I don't know where they went. Hint. What? You mean the pups ran away? I gotta look for them. I don't know where they went. Adventure Bay is too far away. Joey ran to see the Suburban gone. He didn't piece it together because he thought that the fact that the pups could drive. My Suburban is gone. What if they got kidnapped? I'm going to send out a code red. We'll search with you. Thanks, Mayor Goodway. Joey ran around, panicked. He eventually found the note Chase left and read it. And it all made sense. It just made him more worried and a little angered. He was about to call Mayor Goodway, but he was getting another call from her. Joey, your Suburban is in front of the Paw Patrol lookout, and the pup's vehicles are all gone. Yep, I've just found Chase's note. He is so apologetic about stealing my Suburban, but I don't think he knows I have another car. I'm afraid the pups might do something crazy. I know what their intentions are. I'll be there within an hour. Joey hurried up and headed out to Adventure Bay in his 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. The pups couldn't stand the sight of the place Ryder's life had ended, but they had to deal with it. Within seconds, Chase picked up a smell. Ryder wasn't alone if Chase then found traces of Ryder's blood. Something happened before he fell down the cliff. Marshall, was there any signs of a wound not being from a fall? I didn't do an autopsy. It isn't my job. You're the medical expert, though. Ryder has blood right here. He was hit before he fell. If someone else's scent is here, pups, Ryder was murdered. All of the pups flipped out, completely shocked. Someone really does hate us. Who would want to kill Ryder? He did nothing wrong. We're on the search now, and we're on an investigation, pups. First stop, Foggy Bottom. We're going to interrogate the humdinger first. All the pups packed into their vehicles and headed through Foggy Bottom. The fog was a pain to drive through. Eventually, the bench Mayor Humdinger sat at. He was still with his catastrophe crew with him. We did it, kittens. It was a success. Mayor Humdinger did his evil laugh, but returned to a seemingly normal state, whistling and looking suspicious when he saw the tracks came in. We're here. We are here to have a good reason to believe it was you, Chase said. Oh, I see. Paw Patrol's still working in order, Humdinger said. Alive and well. You evil schemes will never stop us, Zuma said. Oh, shoot. I guess that means even without Ryder, you could still figure everything out yourselves, huh? You're evil and heartless, Sky yelled. I wouldn't go there. We all know you did it. It was you, Rubble said. You have to prove it first. We could bring you in an extra questioning. Nowhere in Constitution does it say we can't, Chase said. My offense isn't that extreme. It is. You made us suffer. All the pups teamed up to try to drag him. You're the one responsible for Ryder's death, and you will pay. Mayor Humdinger realized that they weren't on for him for what he did. What? Wait. You did think I killed Ryder? I would never done anything like that. The pups stopped tugging. What? What did you say you were talking about? Oh, other stuff. That's besides the point. I would never wish death upon that boy. That's something I would have done. Chase knew how to read Mayor Humdinger left and right. He knew he was telling the truth. Pups, he's not lying. He's innocent. We have to go back and figure out more of what's going on, Chase admitted it. The pups gave each Mayor Humdinger a death stare, but before they didn't have the right to take him in. They got into their trucks and headed back to Adventure Bay. They figured out the news of them escaping would be out. Right as that thought came in, the pup each got a call from Joey on their GSP screens. Pups, don't scare me like that again. Sorry, Joey, each pup said in illusion. Come back to Adventure Bay. Hey, I know you pups want to be there and drive your vehicles, but you can't. Joey, we have to. You can't. I'm serious, we have to. We found something suspicious with Ryder's death. He was murdered. Joey was shocked and the pups all figured that out. Come back to Adventure Bay and we'll explain it all. The pups were ready to head back, so it was convenient. When they got there, Joey immediately approached the pups. You worried the hell out of me. Don't do that. Sorry, Joey. We had to figure out what really happened to Ryder. We have a clue of what happened, Chase said. So how do you know Ryder was murdered? There's someone's scent, and his blood was on the top of the mountain, so we think he was attacked and then thrown off. It explains why he has gashes rather than shattered insides, Marshall said. Out of nowhere, they heard a roaring 7-8 coming into town. They all recognized it was Jake Rush's Mustang. They all blew right at everyone, which was unusual. The pups got in their trucks and followed him. He stopped at the emergency room. "Jake, are you okay?" Rocky asked. "It's bad. It's horrible." Jake pulled out Everest, who the pups couldn't even tell whether she was alive. He ran in carrying her. Chase marked to Jake's legal park while the rest of the pups ran in with them. The doctors pulled up to a screech, so Jake didn't have to keep carrying her. "What happened?" Rocky asked. "I heard her scream, and then I heard someone battering her. I knew they were coming out because they were out of sight before I got to her." "We'll take care of her, sir. We can't promise she'll pull through, though," a doctor said. Marshall assisted the doctors with the emergency operations. Jake started to tear up. "This can't be happening. Don't leave me, Everest." All the other pups were starting to mourn as well. The doctors tried all they could, but it wasn't working. She went flatline, but the doctors were able to shock her back to life. After an hour of trying to get her stable, the doctors were able to get her to function on her own. "Jake, Everest, you're alive." "I don't feel like it." The pups all gathered around her. She was having a hard time breathing and talking. "Are you okay, Everest?" Chase asked. "I've been better." Rocky put his paw on Everest's. "I'll be there for you. So will everyone else." "Thanks, Rocky." Everest then lost her conscience. "Alright, pups. We want to stay with Everest, but we have to keep searching. We're going to investigate who did this to Everest. It might lead us to more clues with Ryder," Chase said. Each puppet hesitantly left Everest, got into their vehicles, then headed to Jake's mountain. They all got to the cabin where Everest was attacked. Chase picked up multiple scents. One was new, and the other was the same scent from Ryder's death site. "Pups, someone's after us," and the same scent was at Ryder's death site. The pups started freaking out. Now they knew their lives were in danger. "The thing is gonna do is stick together and never leave a pup behind," Rocky said. "That's right, and where's Marshall?" "Ha ha, funny," Rubble said sarcastically. "Really, he's not there! Marshall!" They all went to a panic and started looking for Marshall. After a good 30 seconds of panic, Marshall came out of the cabin, carrying a rifle. "Pups, I found this gun in the cabin. It might be a clue." "Everest wasn't shot. That's Jake's hunting knife." "Oh, oops." Marshall put the rifle back and then walked out. "We have to track this guy down. I have no idea where to start, though," Chase said. Sky then looked at the air for vehicle tracks. Then she found tire tracks that led away from the crime scene. It hadn't snowed, so there was nothing to cover the tracks. "I found the tracks of the truck, you guys. I'll follow them and see where they go." "Great job, Sky. Don't get shoot down." The pups then followed the tracks from the ground. It seemed that they were able to trace it down, but the snow gradually fading it as they were going down the elevation. "It's getting harder to trace down. The snow isn't very easy," Sky said. By the time they got to the bottom, there was no snow left and no way to track down the vehicle. The pups all started whimpering at the lost advantage, but Rocky thought of something. "Pups, we've passed a few cars on the way up. We can go back and take a look at the tracks left by the vehicles, trying to determine on what it was. Then they put the tapes in their dash cams and see if anything matches." The pups admired Rocky's idea. Then they went back a few miles, then observed the tracks. It was a large pickup, a dually. They headed back to Adventure Bay and observed Chase's dash cam. They were mainly vans and SUVs going down, but eventually came across a Ford F-350. The people seemed to be uneasy with the Paw Patrol past. "Bingo! Those are one of our guys." Chase rewound the video for a few milliseconds to get the license number. It was a British Columbian plate. "We got it, pups. Look for the license plate number, Chase said. We'll pair up and search for every white 2011 and newer F350. The pups got into pairs and headed out. The free F50s were found, but none had the license plate number. Pups, they could have put the different license plate on it. Start by pulling every F350 you see. 4 F350s were pulled over by the time Rocky and Marshall came across the parked car with the Connect's license plate number. We found the truck, Marshall yelled. Quiet down. Put a tracker on it, Rocky scolded. The truck's owners came, but because they heard Marshall's voice, Rocky then sucked the tracker in just on time. The two had quickly as possible, however, the owners saw the pup's tracks, and Rocky and Marshall realized that they were at the base when more people than just the truck owners came out. They're here. Search the place. Both pups started picking up the scents. They eventually found out who the leader was by the scents, but he didn't look familiar to any of them. What could he have against us? I have no clue, but we have to move. They came across a phone so they could call Chase. Come on, Chase, pick up. Who is this? Oh, what's going on, pups? We found the truck, Rocky said in a whisper. What's wrong? They knew where we are. We have to find a way out. Chase brought the other pups in. All paws on deck. Rocky and Marshall are... No, Chase, they have guns. Oh, then run. Rocky and Marshall had to find a way to dodge the searchlights. It brought daylight, so it wouldn't hurt much, but it'd mean they're in sight. We're going to have to leave our trucks here, Rocky said. We can't, we need them. How else are we going to get out of here? They are following our main focus is our trucks. If we come in 50 feet, they'll fire us. We have two options, run into the forest or steal a car. How are we going to steal a car? Rocky barked quietly. Dimensional cutters and a lighter. You know more of this hot wire? More or less. They all noticed the guard was very focused on looking through the scope of an AW rifle. Or we could pick a pocket some keys. Let's hope this guy has a fast car, Rocky barked. Needle those nose pilers. Rocky, then scared, approached the guard and hoped that Marshall would be able to find his pup foo into the guard. Realized he was there, he approached into the pocket of the guard and then pulled out whatever was in there. Luckily, they were the keys. Marshall and Rocky left the room. Rocky wiped the sweat from his head. Thank God. Let's see what this guy has. An Acura. We should be able to make a clean escape. A 2013 Acura TL, sitting outside of the other side of the warehouse. The two pups hurried over and got in. It was black, and so Rocky was able to dive right out. Diving human vehicles is so weird. He drove in spontaneously to the exit. When the guards could potentially see them, he gunned it. The 350 horsepower, or 3.7 liter V6, was really nice and right about now. By the time the guards could get to the car, they were long gone. Rocky was having a hard time reaching everything. At least as one man's automatic, it sucked not to be able to reach the clutch. The other pups right then and there. Rocky activated the Bluetooth from the TL. Chase, turn back! They're coming! Rocky, what are you in? I couldn't grab the trucks. I stole someone else's Acura. Right, what? Alright, we'll catch up. They all got back to Adventure Bay and groped up. What's happened back here? Chase asked. We all found the truck and they discovered us, and we had to find a new way out. They had our trucks surrounded. Well, we might as well have some evidence here. Open the truck. When Rocky opened the truck, there were a couple of assault rifles in the back of the truck.